Good morning, my people. My name is Chief Strongblood. I am St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Spirit of Most Hated Son. I am the diaspora. Much is my people. It was another beautiful day for a protest, and I enjoyed every moment of my protest. Let me first remind you the founder of my saying says, I don't want the white man's money, the white man's woman, the white man's friendship, and or the white man's fame. And the reverse of my saying says, white man, why have you enslaved the African American, the Latinos, etc.? All in all, it was another beautiful day for protest. Unfortunately or fortunately, there's nothing particularly interesting that I should bring to your attention as it relates to my protest. And as you know, when I have protested and when I have updated you as to what transpired while I protested, it is always my pleasure and my delight to bring you something from the word of the Most High God. We are still in the book of Revelation, and we have been uncovering many wonderful truths. On Monday, last lesson, we discovered that Revelation was not the introduction of the Caucasians into prophecy. And we have seen that the Most High God even told Moses of the arrival of the Caucasians. It must be important to note that Moses and the Israelites in his era knew of the Caucasians, but he knew of them as the Edomites. And he knew of their behaviors. However, prior to BC 331, the Caucasians had left that part of the world and they showed up in BC 331. I cannot say with any certainty for how long the Caucasians left that part of the world. However, when they showed up in BC 331, it qualified the prophecy that was spoken in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 16 to 68. When they returned at that time, the Israelites that existed didn't know them, have never heard of them, because all memory of them disappeared when they left that part of the world. One of the things that the Caucasians in this era always said to disassociate themselves from slavery and the atrocities of their people of the past is that we cannot be blamed for the misdeeds or the transgression of our fathers. In other words, what they're saying is that slavery and the era of the conquistadors were the evil actions of their fathers. And they should not be blamed for those actions because they are a new people now. But according to scriptures, the Caucasians cannot change. They are the same people they were in the 14th, 15th, 16th century. They are the same people they were when they went and conquered Israel and Palestine in AD 331. Yes, 3,031 years have passed since the Caucasians came into the earth's history. And I will say this, 2,356 years has passed since they conquered Israel and Palestine. But the Caucasians have not changed. They cannot change. They will not change. That is why they gladly accepted the gift that the devil gave to them in Revelation chapter 13, verse 1 and 2. In the parable of the sower that is given in Matthew chapter 13, where the devil sowed tares in the field of the righteous man, it showed that the Caucasians could not change because the master said they will have to go together until the day of harvest. That means the Caucasians who were represented by the tares, they cannot change no matter what they say, no matter what they do, no matter how hard they try. They are children of the devils, and they will remain devils until they no longer exist on this earth. And according to Revelation chapter 13, verse 13, the American nation, America is practicing all of those qualities of the beast that came out of the sea. If there is a murder that was committed and you did not kill that man, but you stood by idly and watch as that man was killed, because you know that you are going to benefit from the proceeds of his death, then you are just as guilty as the murderer. The atrocity that was made out at the hands of Christopher Columbus, Sir John Hawkins, and the other valiant heroes of the Caucasian nation were allowed to continue for over 400 years, not because they didn't think it was wrong, but because the entire Caucasian nation benefited from the evils and the atrocity they meted out on the people who they visited, people who embraced them as friends, people whose friendship they betrayed. Now we can see in the year 2025, this same practice of the Caucasian nation is still continued. Take a look at this video.
Breaking news, the standoff in Latin America has just taken a dangerous turn. U.S. warships are now stationed off Venezuela's coast, part of Washington's campaign to crush Maduro's regime and the cartels that back him. But Venezuela is no longer standing alone. Reports confirm that Chinese amphibious tanks have been spotted unloading at Venezuelan ports, with satellite images showing armored columns moving inland. At the same time, Russian advisors are said to be on the ground assisting with air defense systems around Caracas. This means the confrontation is no longer just U.S. versus Venezuela. It's becoming a proxy showdown with China and Russia directly involved. Analysts warn this could evolve into the most serious hemispheric crisis since the Cuban Missile Crisis. The risks are enormous. Venezuela controls the world's largest oil reserves. Shipping lanes across the Caribbean could be disrupted, and any clash could drag NATO, Beijing, and Moscow into the same battlefield. The question now, is this about fighting drug cartels?
Here we see America is preparing to invade Venezuela. And the excuse they are using is that they have to stomp out the drug cartels that keeps the Venezuelan government in power and are smuggling drugs into the United States of America. Venezuela is not a border country to America. Mexico is. We have seen the activities of the Mexican cartel, how they are digging tunnels under the border to ensure that they get their fentanyls and other drugs into the United States of America. We know the names of the Mexican cartels. We know the names of the Mexican cartel's leader. We don't know the names of the Venezuelan cartel. We do not know the names of the Venezuelan cartel leaders. So the question is, if Mexico is a problem to the United States, where illegal immigration is concerned, where the smuggling of drugs into the United States is concerned, why isn't America going after Mexico when they are a bigger problem than Venezuela is? Let me tell you something. Mexico is more of a problem to the United States of America where drug smuggling is concerned and where illegal immigration is concerned. The United States of America's government should be putting their attention upon Mexico and not Venezuela. But the only reason they are concentrating on Venezuela is because Venezuela has riches that they need, wants, and desire, and they're using getting rid of the Venezuelan drug cartels as an excuse. They want to go into Venezuela, occupy Venezuela, and steal the wealth, the oils of the Venezuelan people and government. That is their whole objective. Let me tell you something. The Caucasians are thieves, and they have not trained in the manner in which they do business, even after 3,031 years. All of Europe and the Europeans are going to sit back and allow this to happen. All of the American citizens is going to sit back and allow this to happen because they know that they are going to benefit from the suffering and the theft that will be inflicted upon the Venezuelan people and their government. The way in which the Caucasian nation operates have not changed. Let me tell you something. It is only a small fraction of Europe that were involved in the actual trading of slaves and the looting of innocent countries, but the entire European nations benefited. And because they stood to benefit, they all stay silent while their conquistadors went out and murder innocent people. It is the Caucasians that speaking about Europe and America. They seized or they froze hundreds of trillions of dollars belong to Libya. And you know what happened? Those hundreds of trillions of Libyan dollars all disappear. They stole it. They use it for themselves. They use it to run their countries and their governments. They use it to benefit their people. They never thought one day that the money that they stole from Libya would have come to an end. The spending is now over, and they have to find another country to victimize. And that country is Venezuela. My people, the scriptures don't change. The scriptures don't lie. The scriptures is truthful. Daniel said in Daniel chapter 2, verse 43, they will mingle with the seeds of men, but they will never cleave one to another. He's speaking about the Caucasians. When he said they will mingle with the seeds of men, but they will not cleave, it means that the Caucasians, they are not man, they are devils. And they could only act as devils. No matter how much they say that it is the actions of their foreparents, they themselves bring themselves guilty when they allow their governments to use their armed forces to commit atrocities against other nations so that they can benefit, so that they can live easy lives. Remember, like this video, share this video, leave a comment on this video, and let me know what are your thoughts about what we discuss here. There are many more videos like this right here. Go and peruse this video and let me know what are your thoughts. I would like you to like or subscribe based on which social media platform viewing this video from. And remember, my name is Chief Strongblood. I am St. Vincent and the Grenadines, favorite and most hated son. I am the diaspora machismo.